Good afternoon. My name is Chris Anders. I'm the director of the Virginia Constitutional Conservatives, and I want to give you a quick update on the status of Simon's gun ban and what actually happened in the Virginia State Legislature. Now, for many months, as you know, here at the Virginia Constitutional Conservatives, we have been fighting to stop Simon's gun ban. Simon's gun ban, of course, was introduced to ban self-made firearms and, 80% kits. For those of you unfamiliar with that, you can purchase, and it's legal throughout the Republic, to purchase an 80% completed receiver, and you complete it at home, and it has no serial number, because that way it's not on a registration list. And we all know that gun registration lists are nothing but gun confiscation lists. So Delegate Simon put this bill in. We started mobilizing. We mobilized our Virginia Gun Rights Task Force, which is a group of highly dedicated and trained operatives to stop this bill. Well, the bill did make it through the House of Delegates by a vote of 52 to 48 in the 2021 general session. However, when it reached the state Senate, because of the amount of phone calls you've made, the amount of emails you sent, John Edwards, who was in charge of the Judiciary Committee, did not want to touch the bill. So he simply passed the bill on to the 2021 special session, which just ended today. Now, if you're a supporter of the Second Amendment, strap in. There's a lot of information I'm going to tell you, and if you don't understand the legislative process, a lot of it might be a little confusing, but I'm going to do my best to explain it. So the 2021 special session begins. John Edwards was angry about the amount of phone calls he was getting, so he tried to get the bill out of committee as soon as possible. Meanwhile, here at the Virginia Gun Rights Task Force, we were dropping hundreds of thousands of emails and telephone calls and text and using social media to get patriots such as yourself to contact a handful of state senators, because we realized whether or not the bill passed had to do with their votes. Now, one of which, and I think I sent an email earlier called The Curious Case of Senator Cray Deeds, was the senator from the 25th District, State Senate District, and his name is, of course, Cray Deeds. Now, Deeds is an interesting character. He voted against the bill in committee, then realizing that the bill failed in committee, moved to reconsider the bill, which is essentially saying, hey, let's do a do-over. The bill I wanted to pass didn't pass, so we're going to do a do-over. So he moves to do a do-over, and he votes against it again. But because of his effort to reconsider the bill and get the revote, it passed out of the Judiciary Committee. Now, it's really disingenuous what he did, because now he can say, listen, I voted against the bill twice, when in fact it was his vote to bring it back up for consideration again that helped it pass. So it goes over to the Senate Finance Committee, and guess what? Senator Deeds is a member of the Finance Committee. Guess what he does? Well, he votes for the bill in the Finance Committee, and blam, the bill's out on the floor for final passage. There was a lot of amendments made to the bill. They tried to put lipstick on the pig, and by saying putting lipstick on the pig, what I meant was that a lot of so-called Republicans and so-called, if there's such a thing, gun-friendly Democrats made the bill better. They weren't going to ban possession. They were just going to ban any new ones. That's still a bad bill. That still ensures that every firearm purchased in Virginia would go on a gun confiscation list. So, of course, we're fighting it. In the end, the bill passed with quite a few amendments, or a ton of lipstick, and ended up going back over to the House because the House version was different than the Senate. Well, the House didn't accept the Senate version, and the Senate, thanks to just your emails and phone calls, did not accept the House version. And officially this morning, the clock ran out and the bill died. Now, this has nothing to do with what the politicians in Richmond did. It has everything to do with what you did. You see, success or failure in any political endeavor is all about the number and the ability of political activists. Politicians live in a bubble. They do. And that bubble can move either towards gun confiscation or back towards freedom and liberty. And thankfully, those of us on the outside, such as you and I, created enough hullabaloo and created enough uproar over this bill that we were able to move the bubble so that the bill died. Now, this was a great victory. And there's probably Republicans such as Tommy Norment or Emmett Hanger going around claiming they voted against the bill. But let's look at their record for a minute. Tommy Norment, the Republican minority leader in the state Senate, has time and time again introduced bills that would, ban you from carrying firearms on public property that your tax dollars pay for. Or Emmett Hanger, who was the sole vote who stopped constitutional carry in Virginia, which means you still have to pay a tax, beg the government's permission, and go on yet another government list to bear arms. Not to mention that Senator Hanger also voted for universal federal gun registration when he outlawed private gun sales. But these politicians would go around claiming victory. Well, the victory is not theirs. The victory is yours. Whether it was defeating Northam's gun ban and the 2020 session or the 2020 special session or the 2021 general session or again in the 2021 special session, along with Simon's gun ban, it was only due to your phone calls and your emails that it stopped. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. But you're the ones that stopped them, and I want to thank you. Here, Virginia Constitutional Conservatives, our Virginia Gun Rights Task Force sent out tens of thousands of phone calls. We did thousands of mailers. We sent out hundreds of thousands of emails urging patriots such as you to take action, and you did. And the reason why you can still manufacture your own firearms and not have every single firearm essentially registered here in Virginia is because of you. Your calls, your emails, and your donations that allowed us to contact even more patriots is what stopped that bill. So what's next? Well, let's see. Right now, we're essentially 2-0. We're stopping these bad gun bills in a state that's controlled by a Democratic legislature and a complete crazy socialist gun-grabbing governor. I'll tell you what's next. We take back our state. You see, this year is the 2021 state election, and every single seat in the Virginia House of Delegates is up. And it's our job to take those seats back. Now, I'm not simply talking about electing Republicans, okay? There are so many anti-gun Republicans, it's not even funny. It really hurts when you're stabbed in the back by those such as Norman Hanger or Glenn Davis, who put in a bill to make it harder to get your concealed carry permit. It's not funny. And even worse, I don't know how many of you actually realize this, but in 2019, during the special session on so-called gun violence, Tim Hugo, Jason Ramirez, and David Yancey all put in a red flag gun confiscation bill. Now, you realize that red flag gun confiscation is basically the destruction of half the Bill of Rights, where you don't get due process, your guns are taken away. Perhaps your dog is shot as a SWAT team kicks in your door at 3 a.m., your guns are taken away, and then you have to go to court and fight to get them back. That is certainly not what our founding fathers fought and died for. So we're looking at the state. There's essentially 8 districts that we're targeting for the 2021 state election. And we need to pick up a total of somewhere around 10,000 votes. If we can pick up those 10,000 votes, we can take back the House of Delegates. And we can rip the Richmond Radicals from power. But we're certainly not going to do it with any type of milquetoast, typical run-of-the-mill political class Republicans, that are members of country clubs and are busy out swinging golf clubs. No, we need real fighters of liberty, those that will take on the Republican establishment, will take on the socialists head on, never compromise, double down, triple down, keep hitting them until we win. That's how we won our liberty right here in Virginia in 1781 from the world's most powerful army, and that's how we're going to take our state back. In fact, over the past year, we've been sending our training classes. We've had 25 so far and trained over 1,000 activists in our tactics, because it is the tactics of confrontation, not compromise, that will win our liberty back. So I encourage you to join us by going to www.restorevirginianow.com and join us in this effort. We're looking for candidates. And again, if you are weak-kneed, if you have no spine, if you're going to bow down before the gun banners, we don't want you, regardless of what letter you're hiding behind. We are looking for patriots. We are looking for Patrick Henrys. We're looking for James Madison. We're looking for leaders who will stand up to anyone who attempts to take away our God-given rights. We're also looking for campaign staff, and most importantly, we're looking for activists. You can go to our website at virginiaconservatives.net, and you can see the different training classes that we are holding. We have our next class, which is on the 13th of March down in Virginia Beach, which is a campaign management school. We'll teach you how to run a campaign, or if you're a candidate, what you need to listen to your campaign manager about. There are so many things I could tell you and so much that we are doing here, but I wanted to take a moment and record this video. There are certain gun groups that came out and claimed victory when the bill died, or claimed that the bill died on Saturday night. But I've been in politics for quite some time, over 15 years. Maybe I'm a bit jaded, but until the session was officially over, which happened this morning, politicians could have pulled all types of crazy procedural tricks and slammed through the gun ban. But it was due to you, your phone calls, your emails, and especially your donations that enabled us to fight and stop this bill. So I encourage each one of you to join us at www.restorevirginianow.com, all spelled out. See what you can do to take our state back, because our children deserve freedom. Their children deserve freedom. We were handed down this freedom and liberty from generations who fought and died on the battlefield to preserve it. And who are we? How could we even look ourselves in the mirror if we didn't fight to take it back? So I'm asking you to join me. Again, this is Chris Andrews with the Virginia Constitutional Conservatives. I'd like to thank you for all that you did, all your phone calls, all your emails, all your support, and most importantly, your effort to rip the Richmond Radicals from power and take back Virginia. Thank you, and God bless.